Jeddah's high-speed street circuit is rather prone to yellow and red flags during qualifying, as drivers and walls often meet. Strategists will be looking for the perfect gap, but need to make sure drivers get their lap in.
We'll send out Lando and we'll send out Oscar. Such a cool cutscene. It's like such a small thing, but bellissimo. Let's see. I mean, these are just the banker times. Hopefully we can get through with these times. P3 for Lando Norris and P7 for Oscar Piastri. Should be safe, although Piastri... Through the final corner, as you can see here, it is going to be Pierre Gasly versus Kevin Magnussen to see who can get inside the top 15 to go into Q2. Will it be enough for the Frenchman to get himself out of the bottom 5? It will not. Jumps ahead of his teammate, but not enough. So Sargent, Bottas, Gasly, Ocon, and Zhou out here in Q1. We should theoretically have very little issue as Norris is going to go ahead and cross the line now. A purple middle and final sector, but obviously he's the first one to go. So a 27.1 and a 27.2. I think those should be good enough, but we'll see once everybody else goes if we need to run a second time. Put up or shut up time, I should say, for Yuki Tsunoda. Can he jump his teammate to get back inside the top 10? He can into P9, now putting Fernando Alonso on the bubble. So George Russell and Alex Albon, I believe, will be the last two drivers to go. But as you can see, there is a lot of traffic here, as these guys did not do a very good job of getting themselves spaced out. Albon will go first. I don't think that Williams quite has the pace to get out of the bottom 5. As you can see, they're jumping ahead of Kevin Magnussen. Not quite good enough. However, George Russell here will be the main one, although Fernando Alonso is also on a flying lap, so the Spaniard will have a chance to respond. Can Russell get himself out of the bottom 5? He cannot. So the Mercedes driver out in Q2. Ricciardo, Russell, Hülkenberg, Albon, and Magnussen all out in Q2. All right, these will be the bankers. So Lando will go ahead and cross the line and set the initial benchmark of a 127.6, over half a second slower than what we did in Q2. And unfortunately, Piastri and Sainz kind of tripped over each other there. But either way, Sainz with the 27.0, that's going to be the benchmark. So Perez will cross the line currently P3. Can he at least jump back ahead of Carlos Sainz? That's going to be a no. Perez will stay in P3. Piastri goes to P5. Lando, P4. P5. Not bad. So Tsunoda, the only driver that can spoil our row 3 ambitions. Not quite going to get there for the Japanese driver. He will beat P9. So Verstappen and Sainz row 1. Perez, Leclerc row 2. And then once again, we will split row number 3.
Well then, it's not long until we get started here. And we should be in for a tightly contested race. Now I wonder, will things be going Lando Norris's way in this race?
Starting P5 gives them a great position off the line. If they manage the race right, well, it could get even better.
We're now moments away from this, the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. And it's lights out, and away we go.
Lights out and away we go. Welcome to Jeddah. So as you guys saw, once again, P5 and P6 there in qualifying. Thankfully, no threat from the Mercedes behind, at least initially, as it looks like Lando Norris might actually make a run here at the Ferrari of Charles Leclerc, and he has completed that pass. So as you can see, Sergio Perez has already, I can only assume, committed to the hard compound tire, the one-stop strategy. We'll have to keep an eye on what the Mexican driver does. But off the start, P4 and P6 already. Let's see what happens. Well, as that was happening, apparently Oscar Piastri somehow managed to overtake everybody and has gone to P3. Literally in one straightaway, he overtook 3 people, and Lando is now P6.
Sweet.
That was not intentional. Oh!
Red flag, red flag.
And it's lights out. And away we go.
Lights out and away we go. Thankfully, Leclerc has received the penalty for that, but I am so freaking confused as to what happened there. So, unfortunately, we've decided to, or fortunately or unfortunately, we've decided to opt for a set of soft compound rubber. In hindsight, probably should have gone with a set of mediums because we're going to have to come out and go through all these people, but I guess Piastri's just going to have to prove his mettle here. So, Verstappen's gone for a set of hards. Sainz has gone softs with us, and Perez has gone medium. So, we'll see what the strategies wind up being, but I think this race just more or less got turned up on its head. All right, here we go. So on to a set of hard compound rubber, the only tire that we have left in this race. 2.8 seconds, not the greatest pit stop in the world, but like I said, we were focusing primarily on limiting the mistakes. So we're going to come out in about at P9 ahead of George Russell and Alexander Albon. Hopefully we can fire these tires up, but there might, to get these tires to the end,
So we are now
probably going to have to do
P9.
some managing.
And there's the contact. I imagine their confidence will have taken a knock.
You've got to be kidding me. One lap.
It's not going the way the team had hoped today. That is for sure.
Yeah, I feel you, pit crew guys. So one lap early, we just gave up all of our track position for nothing.
And it's lights out. And away we go.
Anger. Lots of anger.
Tire temperature.
Well, I'd imagine everybody's going to go hard to the end.
Yep.
Actually, no, some of those at the front are going to opt to go ahead and do the one stop before the end of this race, either that or manage their medium. So maybe there's some opportunity here, but man, that's a kick in the fucking balls.
Use overtake.
Very heavy on the brakes. Now, they did leave it very late.
Well, we came out ahead of Verstappen, but I'd imagine Max is just going to fly through this group.
The gap opens up for them. And 5th place after that.
Okay, for like the 8th time, can we please overtake Fernando Alonso? Good, after Piastri. Stroll.
Keep chipping away. Alonso.
I mean,
1.8.
he made the overtake. We don't have... Oh, safety car.
That's a good job. Okay, that's for Verstappen.
Who died now?
And unable to do anything about that crash. And they'll have to pick themselves up after that.
What a fucking race this is turning into, huh? So,
Not
safety
much
car.
the team can do about
And what do we do?
Debris.
So Sainz is going to pit here. Verstappen will stay out. I'm going to stay out here, but I feel like if I stay out, everybody behind us is going to pit. But with how limited time there's going to be left in this race, I think we'll be okay. Does anybody behind us pit? No. Whew. All right, here we go. Safety car is in the pit lane. Field in the hands of Max Verstappen. There is the safety car line. He's allowed to go whenever he wants. Unfortunately, I don't see us being in the fight here for the race win, but I think we definitely can maybe make the lives hard for Carlos Sainz to try to hold on to this podium spot. So green flag's back in the air. Piastri, forward, march.
2 laps to go now.
Come on.
Verstappen.
Come on, up the inside. Yes, I'm into P2. Let's fucking go. Well, what a race this has been. 2 red flags, a safety car, and all that. Carlos Sainz is going to go ahead and steal this race away here in Saudi Arabia. There will be a drag race to the line. We had overtaken Verstappen. We used up all of our battery. Come on, Oscar. Come on, Oscar. Come on. Yes, P2 for Oscar Piastri. Verstappen comes home P3. Whew, that was close. Whew.
And that is P2.
And that's Carlos Sainz bringing home the win.
Well, it was never certain, but if anything, that must make the victory taste even sweeter.
Oh, contact after the checkered flag. Maybe Max not too happy there with Mr. Piastri, but either way, cry about it, Maxi. Alonso P4, Stroll P5, Perez, Russell, Tsunoda, Hamilton, Albon in the points. Whew.
Now, wasn't it an excellent showing from Oscar Piastri?
What a fantastic result for the team who got everything right for this podium. They deserve nothing less.
We may see these kind of scenes a lot in Formula One, but it's easy to forget just what it means to the whole team. The man from down under, Oscar Piastri, heads up to our podium.
It's wonderful to see them take their first podium of the year. They had to earn it, that's for certain.
And finally now, the drivers can relax after an eventful weekend at the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Okay then, and a big thank you to everyone for joining us this weekend here in Jeddah.
And for the next round, Formula One is heading down under. Exciting times ahead in Australia on the shores of the Albert Park Lake.